this very interesting and very important pre-counting day debate, point counterpoint. And what is important here is that we are barely 48 hours or actually even less than the time when Goa will know who its next government will be, hopefully, and probably who the next chief minister will be. But however, taking into account the fact that the exit polls have by and large said that there is going to be a hung assembly with no party getting a clear majority, then obviously our discussion will revolve around the mindless and endless possibilities that might happen. One very important factor that we should keep in mind, and I'm quoting from that very famous remark that Nehru ji said, "Ajeeb hai ye Goa ke log." And Goa's politics also, of course, revolves around this whole issue of strangeness, where you never know what combinations can be thrown off. Obviously, there are pre-poll alliances, one of the MGP and the TMC. There is a Congress and the Goa Forward Alliance, and of course, the BJP is by and large at it completely on its own. But however, there is nothing sacrosanct once the polls are conducted and the election results are out. One of my esteemed colleagues actually came up with this very interesting term, and he said that after the polling is done and after elections are announced, everybody is a freelancer. Everybody is not every party is a freelancer. So the issue is now it's all going to be a battle of these freelancers, depending on, and anybody can be a freelancer. A member of a regional party can be a freelancer. Independents can obviously be freelancers. And you never know, people even in established political parties can also be freelancers, or at least shadow freelancers. So that is why the whole scenario becomes very interesting, when nothing is sacrosanct, nothing is sacred, and there is nothing called sacrilege. We have a very significant panel with us, and I thank all of them for joining me at short notice. On my left is Kiran Khandolkar ji, he is the president of the Trinamool Congress, also a candidate from Maldona, and he's spearheading the party's campaign this time. Next to him is Dr. Manoj Kamath. He is a political commentator, a very renowned political analyst and commentator. Also is a very well-known principal of the Mallikarjun College in Kankan. Welcome, sir, for being with us. Sir. And next to him is Rupesh Kamath. Rupesh is the social media convener of the BJP. Has worked very closely with former chief ministers and knows the inside out of the BJP as one of their, it's very, very important personnel. And last but not least is my esteemed colleague, Dr. Freddy Fernandez. He is here also, having followed this whole campaign very, very closely along with all of us. He's also an author and a columnist in his own right. Thank you all for being here. I'll start with Kiran Bhatt. And Kiran, you can speak in Konkani and English as you are comfortable. Kindly feel free. But my first question to you is that Trinamool Congress, let us begin by saying, okay, it expects to get about 3 to 4 seats. Let's start with that premise. When that happens, will the Trinamool Congress and the MGP stick to its alliance, or will you take an independent decision depending on what MGP does?
आम्ही जसे प्री पोल अलायन्स आहा MGP आणि TMC सीट कितले यो आम्ही वांगडा असतले हे आमच्याकडे सुदीन गवळीकर मे बी ही इज अ लीडर MGP लीडर ही कॅन मीट एनीवन नो इश्यू आय एम ऑल्सो मीटिंग हांवूय मेळटा कोणाक ना कोणाक सुदीन गवळीकरूय मेळटा सगळे ह्या दिसांनी एकामेकाक मेळटा एकामेकाक मेवळे चाव पियेले दॅट मिन्स आमी थंय गेले अशें जायना मेळप विचार आयकून घेवप हे सगळे चल्लेले आहा पण सुदिनान TMC वांगडा जे उतर गेल्ले आहा वोट दिल्ले आहा की प्री पोल अलायन्स आनी आफ्टर ऑल्सो वील बी इन अलायन्स आनी डिसिजन्स कितें घेतले पळय कितें करप हे कलेक्टिवली घेतले म्हाका तरी दिसता आनी म्हाका विश्वास आसा कित्याक सुदीन गवळीकर फाटले फावटी BJP कडसून जो झटको खाल्ला तो जर परतून वचत जाल्यार ताकाच लोक आसतले आनी आमचे भितर म्हणजे हांव फाटले खूब दीस जाले एक तांचे एक वक्तव्य पळयतालो स्टेटमेंट्स पळयतालो की आपल्याक CM कर आपल्याक CM कर अशें तो खुबशे जाणांक उलोवन दाखयतालो पण आमी एक कितलेय यो पूण आमी सायजेबल येता TMCन 10 जाग्यांचेर हार्ड काम केल्लें आहा आयदर नंबर 1 or will be on second in some constituency सुदीनूय एक 3-4 असो येवपाक शकता सर आमचो एक 10च्या आसपास पावता जाल्यार वी वील बी द डिसिजन मेकर. आमी डिसिजन मेकर आसतले आनी त्या टायमार आमी अजून हांव पार्टी हायकमांड आमच्या वयल्या लिडरां कडेन उलोवंक ना, पूण सुदीन अनुभवी असलेल्या कारणान सुदिनाक चीफ मिनिस्टर जावपाक लागून आमी हेल्प करपाक शकता, TMC हेल्प करपाक शकता. ताका हांगा थंय हात मारपाची गरज ना अशें म्हाकाय दिसता. सो आमच्या वांगडा चड कम्फर्टेबल आसतलो रादर दॅन अदर्स. दुसऱ्यां कडेन मागचें पडटा, आमी करूंक सोदता, हो डिफरन्स आहा. सो सुदीन आमच्या वांगडा आसता.
So what you're saying is very important, and probably for the first time that the TMC is actually saying this, that they are not opposed to propping up Sudhin as the chief minister if the numbers are right. I think this can also be taken as an important breaking, and so it's critical. But having said that, I'll just quickly come to Dr. Manoj Kamath. Dr. Kamath, just say, let's look back. Of course, we will process what he has said just now in the normal course of discussion. But if we quickly go to the exit polls, and you must have gone through all the exit polls, and I think I've gone through about 9 or 10 exit polls, and by and large, if you close your eyes and say 13 to 17, the 13 to 17 is fitting into every slot. It is fitting into the BJP slot, it's fitting into the Congress slot. So that if you close your eyes, 14 to 19, 13 to 17, these are figures that have almost become stuck. So when you see these figures, what does it tell you?
Yeah, these figures are not surprising for me, because all of us who were following the elections very closely, we knew that it is Congress which is inching towards the majority. But we were quite sure with the kind of vote split which was happening, that Congress will not be able to make for an absolute majority. In that terms, given the anti-incumbency of the BJP, it was quite evident that the Congress would marginally get 1 or 2 seats more, or 3 to 4 seats more than the BJP. So that was certain. So I'm not really surprised with the exit poll results. It was quite known with the fractions which happened, with the kind of defections which BJP did encourage. So BJP was not good in the public opinion. So that naturally that benefit had to go to the Congress. But the secular vote which we thought would remain intact, I am not really sure whether secular vote would remain intact because of more number of organized players getting into the fray. So we had TMC came with a very heavy campaign with a lot of money, a lot of resources, and same is with AAP. So with both these factors, even if they are able to take some sizable votes, that would be the kind of an
They're saying votes, not seats.
not the seats. So that would be the kind of a difference by which the Congress candidate could probably lose in a secular vote secular seats. Now with this, I'm really convinced that whatever the exit polls have predicted, that is expected to get true, that Congress would get 1 or 2 seats more than the BJP. Then probably all of us would have to look at the independent candidates, how many seats the TMC would get, how many the MGP would cobble up, and what kind of new arrangements would occur after the elections. Ata Kiran Baban ek bari result sangli. He said that if we all know that Sudhin Bab has chief ministerial aspirations, and he is going to blow up his aspirations to make him the front runner. But the normal question is, if this what he's saying is true, and if he's saying it through his heart, why didn't they say it before the elections? If they had to say it before the elections, probably they would have given a better, formidable, choice for people to vote for the TMC and the MGP. Secondly, if you look at the MGP's past, MGP has never been a stable party in terms of its principles, and they are very flexible, they are very malleable. So we remember that MGP contested against the BJP during the last elections, and they were forced to run to get whatever they had to get. If this is what is expected once again, I'm not really sure whether MGP Sudhin Bab is going to remain and ask for my worthy friend's decision whether he is going to back him or he is not going to back him. Ultimately, as you said, everyone is going to be freelancers.
Correct.
And this freelancing business we have seen has been the best business during the last 10 years. It is going to be an exciting business this time too.
Yes, it's going to be the reign of the freelancers. The opposite thing is, what is very interesting is what Dr. Manoj Kamath said. The exact scenario can also be applicable to BJP. See, for instance, BJP may get again 16, 17 seats. It may 18 seats. Okay, officially for the record, BJP saying we are going to get a clear majority. Practically, if you are short of 2-3 seats, ultimately BJP will also have to adapt to the same formula that the Congress is adopting.
Yes, definitely. Once the results are out, and if there is a hung assembly, once government has to be formed, and I don't think so. BJP will remain behind. So we have a government at center. BJP, I think the smaller parties or the independents, they have a case here that whoever forms the government, if they have the same government at the center, double engine, so it becomes a better choice for them in the future, in the remaining 5 years, to get all the development works done. So that is a case which is there, which we have seen before also. So I think BJP has the edge here. If there is a hung assembly, then I think all these independent players or the small parties can come back to BJP to form the government.
So you all had some time between February 14th to March 10th. Are you saying this out of absolute conviction? Is the deal done, or are you saying it out of hope?
No. I am saying it out of the past experience. So what has happened in last month, I don't know, but what has happened before. So this can happen this time also.
I have an counter argument here.
Yes.
If you look at what BJP would do, see, BJP was talking about 26 seats before the elections. On the run towards the elections, they were talking about 22 and 22. Now probably they are getting on to the right expectation at the 18-19 mark. We do not know whether they are going to get 18-19, but probably it looks like they are going to get few seats less than 18-19. In any way, question is who is going to trust them now? The strong ally and the natural ally of the BJP has been the MGP, principally ideologically closer to the BJP, and BJP has not been decent enough to treat MGP in the past. Parrikar did not do it. Parrikar was a gentleman in his terms with the MGP. He always treated MGP with due respect, what they deserved. But it was not the case with Parsekar. Neither it was the case with Mr. Sawant, and Sawant has ditched them twice. First, when he broke, when he engineered a defection there, and secondly, when he threw them away. So, question is, who's going to trust them now?
A quick reaction to that, quick rebuttal.
I think just a day back, CM has already answered that it was a political decision when MGP itself decided to contest against the ruling BJP in the by-elections, and therefore this scenario took place. So I don't think so that...
So the dropping of the MGP minister happened subsequent to that?
Yes, it was done subsequently after that decision when the president of MGP contested against the BJP candidate in the by-election. So all this scenario happened there. I don't think so there is a personal or any kind of that distrust among the leaders. So I think there is still space for all parties to consider.
Okay, I'll just get my colleague Dr. Freddy Fernandez on this. Freddy, taking into account what all our three esteemed guests have said, I will draw your attention to two interesting developments that have happened today in terms of news. See, PTI has put out two stories after the Honorable CM met the Prime Minister and I think Home Minister there. Where he gave a statement to PTI from Delhi, where he says that if we fall short, what is interesting is that even the tone of the Chief Minister is also changing, because from the fact that there is no question of we not getting a majority to if we fall short, we will seek the support of independents and the MGP. What is very interesting is the Chief Minister himself saying that we will seek the support of the MGP. He did not mention TMC, he did not say alliance. He says MGP. Again, that freelancer question comes in. Everybody knows that there are freelancers. Okay. Now, after which, within 1 hour of that statement coming out, MGP gave a counter statement again to PTI, okay, stating that the MGP will never support Pramod Sawant as Chief Minister. You mark my words, mark the words of the Sunil Nallikar. Where he says, I will not support Pramod Sawant as the Chief Minister. Not once did he say, I will not support BJP. He said, I will not support Pramod Sawant. Point number one. Point number two, he also said that I will not do anything without the TMC because they are our allies. Then he was quickly asked by the reporter, but will the TMC ever go with you? If you are supporting the BJP, will the TMC also go with you? Because that completely offsets the national equations or whatever they're trying to do nationally. The reply to that was even more interesting, where Sunil Nallikar says that the TMC is a party in Bengal and other places. in Goa, the TMC is led by our own Goan leaders, our Goan people, our Goan brethren. What the TMC does in Goa is different from what they will do directly. So these are all different. See, we also know that a lot of bantering is happening, political baiting is happening, all these things are happening. So a lot of the statements, including what Kiran Babu said, is all part of a strategy. We agree with that. There's no harm in that. But this needs to be taken into account. I'll quickly go to Kiran Babu on this. Kiran Babu, this whole statement of saying TMC in the center is different, TMC in Goa is different. Suppose we decide to go with the BJP, MGP, suppose we go to the BJP, Pramod Sawant not led BJP. Then, our alliance will
I
also.
understood your question. कितें जाणां, सुदीन ढवळीकर इज अ MG लीडर,
Right.
TMCचो अध्यक्ष हांव आहा. म्हाका खबर आहा आमचे एथिक्स कितें आहा, आमचे सर्टन टर्म्स एंड कंडिशन्स मीन्स आमचे पार्टीचे आयडियोलॉजी कितें आहा ती घेवन आमी रावतले. इट इज इन बेंगाल, इट इज इन सेम, मणिपूर ओ सम नॉर्थ ईस्ट स्टेटीनूय सेम आनी गोंयानूय सेम आसतली. सो डिफरंट आसपाक शकना. सो आनी आमी स्टक रावतले आमची जी एथिक्स जी आहा, आयडियोलॉजी आहा ताका आमी स्टक रावतले.
किरण बाब, एक कोंकणीन प्रश्न घालता, आमचे कोंकणी व्ह्युअर जे आसतले तांकां लागून. आता तुम्ही जे स्टेटमेंट केला तो तुम्ही मॉरली बायंडिंग स्टेटमेंट केला की तुमचे प्री पोल अलायन्स आसा आणि मॉरली तुम्ही बायंडिंग आसा, पण लिगली हे जे आम्ही फ्रीलान्सर आम्ही म्हणटाले, लिगली तू आम्ही जायते पार्टीन एफिडेविट घेतला, कोणे ओथ घेतला, पण तांकां तशें तुम्ही बायंड करून दवरूंक शकना. आणि दुसरो प्रश्न आहा पळय तो सीएमाचो जो ऑफर सुदीन ढवळीकराक दिला तो म्हाका दिसता तांकां नेक टू नेक जायत जाल्यार काँग्रेसूय दिवंक शकता आणि BJP दिवंक शकता. सो ह्या सिच्युएशनान तुमी कितें करतले?
ना पण प्री पोल अलायन्साक व्हॅल्यू आसता. प्री पोल अलायन्स, नॉट एफिडेविट, नॉट डेट एग्रीमेंट, हे सगळे काय राजकारणान चलना. पूण जी प्री पोल अलायन्स करता पळय हाका थोडें म्हत्व आहा, नाजाल्यार इन फ्युचर कोणूच प्री पोल अलायन्साचेरूय विश्वास करचे ना. सो आमी तांचे वांगडा प्री पोल अलायन्स केल्ले आहा आनी त्या अनुशंगान सुदिनानूय म्हटलेलें आहा की ना आमी TMC वांगडा हे करतले. ताजो तो गोवा TMC आनी दुसरी TMC, इट इज अ ताजे वैयक्तीक मत तें, आमचें तशें काय ना. आमी TMC इज द सेम, ऑल इंडिया तृणमूल पक्ष. सो अशें काय हे ना तेजे हितून. कितें तुवें म्हाका प्रश्न विचारलो
सुदीन ढवळीकराचो प्रश्न म्हणटाले रिगार्डिंग चीफ मिनिस्टरशीप.
ताका आमी आमच्या सायडीकसून म्हटला न्हू, आनी आजुनूय हांव आमच्या नॅशनल लिडरां कडेन उलोवंक ना, कारण आमच्यो कांय गोश्टी सुदिनाचे सारक्या कांय गोश्टी घडटा ते आमी हांगा बसोनूच उलयता चडश्यो. पूण तरी आसतना हे डिसिजनान आयज आमचे नॅशनल लिडर येतले, रात मेरेन पावतले, मागीर उलयतले. पूण हे एक कितें जाणा, सुदिनांक सद्या फुटबॉल कहो करतात सगळे, काँग्रेसूय करता म्हणया, BJP करता, पूण कोणूच सांगिना ताका चीफ मिनिस्टर करता म्हणून. तो मागोवंक वयता, आपल्याक एक फावट तरी चीफ मिनिस्टर करात रे म्हणटा. ही तेजी इच्छा, तेजी प्रामाणीक इच्छा आसा.
अशें हांवें आयकलां की तो पॉलिटिक्सान रिटायर जातलो,
Maybe.
तो एक्स CM म्हणून जाणा
मे बी आनी जावपाकूय जाय तेज्या
आणि
वांगडा.
चड करून हांव कितें म्हणटालो की आता आमी हे एक्झिट पोल पळयत जाल्यार काँग्रेसाचे तशें BJP तेंचे 14 to 18 ऑन नंबर घालता आणि MGPक तर 3 या 4 सीट मेळले जाल्यार तो चीफ मिनिस्टर कॅन्डिडेट खंयच्याय पार्टीचो जावंक शकता, तुमचोच कित्याक जावंक शकता?
ना पूण हे एक्झिट पोल पळय दाखयता, हे नॅशनल टीव्हीचेर हांव काल सगळ्यांचे 8-9 जाण एक्झिट पोल दाखयता. जशें सांगलें सुजय गुप्तान सांगलें तशें की कोणाक 17 दाखयता, BJPकूय 17 दाखयता, काँग्रेसीकूय 17 दाखयता, आनी वचत थंय येता एक्झिट पोल. आमी गोंयकार, हांवें खूब जाणांक विचारले नॅशनल चॅनल्स हांगा कितले येयल्ले एक्झिट पोल करपाक लागून, तर सगळ्यांचें उत्तर आमकां काय कोणी विचारूंक ना. तेज्या पेक्षा हें जर एक्झिट पोल गोंयच्या चॅनलांनी केल्लें, आयज तुमचे हेराल्ड टीव्हीन केल्ले, इन गोवा आहा, प्रुडंट आहा, बाकीच्यो मिडिया आहा, बाकीचे आमचे रिपोर्टर्स, गोवन रिपोर्टर्स, वार्ताहर आहा, हेंच्यांनी जर हो एक्झिट पोल केल्लो जाल्यार हांव थोडो बहुत मानतलो आसलो. आमचे गोंयचे राजकारण हे दिल्लीकार सजमोवंक शकना. हांव सरळ सांगता,
That's actually a very important point that you raised. Yes.
ते सजमोवंक शकना. ते एका रुमान बसता, चाव मारता आनी कितें मारता ते सांगिना, आनी थंय बसून ही सगळी एक्झिट पोल करा. सो हो एक्झिट पोल पळय दाखयला हेका कसलोच अर्थ ना, कित्याक तेंच्यांनी कोणाक विचारला हांगाच आमचे पॅनलिस्ट बसले, तांकां तरी विचारला आसतलें ना, तुका विचारला कोणाक ना, कहो केलो तुमी. तेज्या पेक्षा म्हाका जर सांगलेलें फाल्यां तुमचे रिपोर्टर गांवभर भोंवता गोंयभर भोंवतात ते तांकां अंदाज येता हें घडोवंक शकता कित्याक आमची कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सी कंपेर टू अदर स्टेट आमची कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सी 25,000 ते 30,000ची वोटिंग जाता 20,000 ते 22,000 ह्या 20,000सून 22,000सून एक 5,500 6,000 7,000 लोकांक आमी आयडेंटिफाय करूंक शकता कित्याक आमी लोकल आहा आमकां खबर आहा ह्या घरान 5 मतां आहा जाल्यार 4 कोणाक पडला आनी 1 कोणाक पडला हे आमी सांगूंक शकतात न्हू कित्याक आमी म्हणजे बूथ कार्यकर्ते सो हे जे एक्झिट पोल बी येयले पळय नॅशनल टीव्हीचेर हांव म्हणटा ते बोगस हांव डायरेक्ट चार्ज करता हांव डायरेक्ट आरोप करता बोगस ते एएनआय स्टेटमेंट दिल्लो आहा हे फ्रॉड हे धनुष्य बाण चलाते लग गया तो लग गया फाल्यां म्हणटाले ते आमचो एक्झिट पोल हमारा सही हो गया पळयला मैं करेक्ट अशें काय आसना हांगासरलें राजकारण वेगळें हांव सांगता तुका टीएमसीनूय बरें काम केल्लें हांव सांगता न्हू टीएमसीनूय बरें काम केल्लें थोड्या भागांनी एमजीनूय बरें काम केल्लें थोड्या भागांनी इंडिपेंडंटांनी बरें काम केल्लें आहा बीजेपी हांव सांगता सिंगल डिजीट रती महारथी जे मी म्हणणारे जे 2012 पळय जाल्ले काँग्रेसीक ती गजाल हांगासर बीजेपीक जावपाची आहा हे फावटी वायट धरपाचें न्हू कोणें हांगासर रुपेश बाब आहा कोण आहा हो फॅक्ट आहा हो फॅक्ट सो बरें बरें हांगासर पडपाचें आहा सो हेका लागून कितें हाडाय आनी काँग्रेसीनूय चड वर हावेन उडपाचें न्हू शिवोले मांद्रेकार जिखता कितें म्हणटा तें समजा तुमी शिवोले मांद्रेकार जिखता हांव टीएमसी म्हजो टीएमसीचो कॅन्डिडेट आहा थंय पूण हांव शिवोले मांद्रेकार कित्याक जिखता म्हणटा पळय ते जे हावेन कोण उडटात पळय तांकां कळपाक लागून चड हावेन रावचें न्हू सो हेका लागून काय हाणें रियलिटी जाणा जावपाक जाय आनी तेच्या प्रमाणे चलपाक जाय काँग्रेसूय तशें खूब येता अशें ना पूण सांगलें तशें कामत बाबान सांगलें की बीजेपीच्या उन 1-2 सुबेस येवंक शकता त्रिशुंक वो 4 जाणांची विधानसभा जातली एक कोण म्हणटात न्हू मी 5 गव्हर्नर हावजार वयतले दिसाची स्वप्नां पळोवपाक खूब बरें दिसता कळना न्हू दिसाची स्वप्नां पळोवया आमी दिसाची दोळे उक्ते धरून स्वप्नां पळोवपाक कितें आहा तर वचपाक जाय इनिशिएटीव घेवपाक जाय लास्ट टायम गेंच्यांनी केला तशें करपाक जायना पूण आमच्या बगार सरकार जावचो ना आमी आनी सुदिनाच्या बगार सरकार जावचो ना सो सुदिनान यांच्या तेंचे कडेन नांव वयता पयलीं आमच्या लिडरां कडेन उलोवपाक जाय तेणें आमी ऑफर दितात न्हू तुका जे मागून मेळना पळय ते आमी दिता जाल्यार कितें वायट आहा आमी सीएम करता न्हू
Okay, so the TMC and NDP has very importantly positioned themselves as a prop for any government to come into power. Kiran Babu is also very categorical and he says, look, the TMC in Goa is no different from the TMC there, and he has rubbished the polls completely. I totally agree with one point that I think it's high time Goan media and Goan channels do their own exit poll, which is going to be far more credible, and that's something we should really note and work seriously, Freddy, for next time. Rupesh Abel, I'll come to a little focus on the BJP because after all it is the ruling party, and it hopes to form the government irrespective of what others are saying, but it's going into elections. One would say, is it right to say that if you look at 2017 and now, in 2017 of course there was a bit of anti-incumbency, Congress worked very hard. This time would you agree that your strength is not necessarily coming from the work that the BJP did, but it is coming actually from the way the non-BJP politics has worked out, in the sense that with so many people coming in, so the AAP and the BJP's presence, AAP and the TMC's presence, do you agree that it has helped you in many seats?
Yeah, as even Dr. Manoj has said earlier, definitely the opposition party, we had some strong national parties coming here. There will be a split in the
Do you agree, just to interrupt before you go,
Yes,
one interruption, do you agree, one statement, do you agree that if the AAP and the TMC were both not there, and if it was a straight fight, it would have been very difficult for BJP to come anywhere near power?
Yeah, maybe I can't,
honest answer.
Yeah, definitely it will be a little bit harder than what it is today. In some places the intensity will be more, some places it could have been less.
Okay.
But definitely it will have been harder. But there were these players, opposition votes have been split, and comparing 2017 and now, I feel that in Goa, our constituencies are small, as is 25,000, 27,000, 30,000. There are many issues that take place. It is not a direct fight or a scenario in a larger state. So we have many factors which come into place in an election, and I think it is not only a party, but there are a lot of individual aspirations which are there. Individual popularity plays a major role in Goa. So it is not about BJP or Congress or any other AAP or TMC, but it is an individual player in every constituency. So looking at even the anti-incumbency which we say is not always about the government. It is sometimes against a particular leadership, against an MLA or a local leader in that constituency. So it is not always a government anti-incumbency. So these all factors come into play. And I think this time party has played all if you see the candidates selected or whatever it is, they have taken into consideration all these factors. So I feel that this time it will be different as 2017. If you see the exit polls, as my colleague said, they come, all these national agencies come and they take a state sample, and then they remove the vote share, and then out of the vote share the seat projections are made. So it is not constituency wise. So it doesn't give the actual figures. So there are many constituencies where it is very close, and it may both go either way. So all these factors, if you look at the exit poll figures that they are showing for BJP, I feel very confident that it will be little bit more than that also. So this will be very close to the majority.
Does the confidence also come from the fact that you all have strategized this as well as the BJP is known to do? See, for instance, in many constituencies you all are fighting a proxy battle through independence. One will be very clear. See, Chandrakant Shetty, though the Congress claim they support him, we also know what are the leanings of Chandrakant Shetty. We also know who I will use the word funded with responsibility, Anton Vaz in Partali. Though you had your candidate, it is an open secret that Anton Vaz was backed by the BJP. As far as Kurturi is concerned, I will not say anything, but that says everything. Okay, so that is Kurturi. If you look at even Veli, for instance, there is a possibility that Philip Devi, Baba Shan in Nuve. See, when you look at all these candidates who are there and who are supposedly independent candidates, it almost seems that they're wearing independent or other party jerseys, but they're ultimately. So does your strength also come from these hidden soldiers who you fielded?
It's not about hidden soldiers, but just as I said that in Goa, individual persons have a vote.
Yeah, but as a strategy, I do agree.
Yes, definitely. I think all strategies have been used by the party this time. So, I think all these factors will come together once the results are out. Very confidently, the independents and smaller parties will come together, and I think BJP having a government at the center will always have an edge. So.
Okay, so this is the reverse freelancer theory. People are officially freelancers but are not actually freelancers.
No. बारान काँग्रेस सरकार सेंटराक आसले. दॅट मीन्स काँग्रेस डबल इंजिन आहा थंय सदांच डबल इंजिन जाता अशें ना. त्या टायमार BJP मनोहर पर्रीकराचें सरकार फूल स्विंग हांगासर. सो इट इज नॉट इम्पॉर्टंट दॅट केंद्राक सरकार आहा म्हणून हांगा सरकार जातले. हें चुकीचें आहा. इट इज 2 or 3% पीपल कॅन थिंक दीस. केंद्राक सरकार आहा म्हणजे हांगासर आमकां फायदेशीर जातलें, पूण इट डजंट वर्क एवरी टायम. इन 2012 इट डजंट वर्क. सो तशें जावकूच जाय अशें कांय आसना.
Okay.
Yeah, but in 2012, one factor I think what you said is right, but in 2012, I think when there was an anti-incumbency against the Congress government, there was a personality at the opposition who actually gathered all the momentum against the government, and that was the reason why BJP could get the 21
This time
seats.
also
Yes.
there is an anti-incumbency,
But there is no
on
single
gas
leader.
cylinder 350 to 800, 900. Petrol 67 or 65 to 100 and 100 and plus. Double coal, coal factor, double tracking,
old Goa factor. It is many factors.
What I'm also saying is what Rupesh Bab is saying is that in 2012 the anti-incumbency vote moved towards one man, Parrikar. It was not so of a BJP vote.
Even if there are 5 issues, that 5 issues has not been made as a Goan issues. See, it could be localized issues here and there, but there was a factor in 2012 where Mr. Parrikar brought together everything under one umbrella.
These are probably Goan issues, but the opposition did not manage to make it into a Goan issue. One quick point, then we'll move to Freddie, to slightly academic switch on this. See, the thing is, Dr. Kamath, you see, in these elections, and we've seen this over a period of time, but when it comes to the election proper, the issues that come in front of the voter is primarily his personal benefit. Okay, across constituencies is about his loyalty to a particular leader, the benefits he's got or may get. Caste and community may play a very slight factor, but ultimately it almost becomes a hidden contract between the voter, personal contract between the voter and the candidate. Everything else is noise, which is filtered out. Almost like a noise reduction headphone is filtered out. Ultimately, it all boils down to this. Now, the issue is, in this kind of a situation, when it's so transactional, and I'm using the word transactional in the broad sense, right from in a good sense to the very petty and a bad sense, where it actually comes down to paying money for votes. So I'm just very saying, when it is so transactional, then don't you think this completely offsets all other issues that come into play? If we discuss so many things in studios, columnists write reams and reams and reams, and we write editorials, we write stories, other things. But when push comes to shove, these broader issues get fed, and Goa I feel is poorer because of this, because you're not really using the election for the purpose for which election should be used.
I absolutely agree with you. And the kind of intellectual discourse which you have brought for today's panel discussion is something much adds value to the discussion today. Because for the first time we are talking about transactional analysis which has happened during the elections. And let me tell you very, very clearly, this election has been different from the rest historically, because this election is never fought or was never fought on a particular issue related to girls. Please take it down.
Correct.
Whether it is Congress, whether it is the TMC, or whether it is AAP, or whether it is BJP. Nobody talked about the real developmental agenda.
Right.
Nobody talked about pollution. Nobody talked about jobs. Obviously, we are in job scam. Congress couldn't take it up to a higher level. We had Anganwadi workers on the road. Every third day there were more chars, but that was not translated into a public movement as a run-up for the elections.
Right.
Then what did work? Understand that for the first time we had very many organized players in the market. And organized players with a lot of resources.
Right.
And we have seen unimaginable amount of money flowing for this election, which we have never seen in the past. Some people talk to me from Jodhpurpattis and the lower medium class people. 15,000 rupees per vote has been the market rate. And that is the word they have used, market rate. And then when you talk about number of jobs and people waiting for jobs, unemployment rate taking up to a greater higher levels. Nobody talked about unemployment. Nobody talked about Madai. Nobody talked about Old Goa Church as the things were. Obviously, those things had a very, very regional and very, very little impact. But this time, for the first time, this election was not fought on a government or a Goa-based agenda. It was an individual agenda. It was my party versus your party. It was my defections and you. We made a noise about ethics. We made a noise about defections. We made a noise about stealing the mandate. But then at one point of time we have seen this election has been a micromanagement, as you have rightly pointed out. If you ask me who were the major players, it was BJP versus the BJP. The official BJP versus the unofficial BJP. And that we have seen in majority of the constituencies. Tell me who is Savitri Kavaikar? Now, as my Rupesh Kamath Bab, my very good friend, talked about the ethical value on the basis of which Sudan Devekar was shown the door. Now, tell me if you had to use the same principle for Babu Kavaikar, who happens to be your deputy chief minister, and his wife using his photograph in the election material, and then you have nothing to say, and your poor hardcore BJP Karyakarta come leader is suffering there. So you are unable to distinguish who is yours and who is not. You played mischief with Reginald Lawrence. And who has financed Rajendra Lawrence? Who financed Anton Was? And you have seen all this. So whether it is you win or somebody else wins, finally it is BJP's game. So in that terms, BJP really had the time, the resources, the money, and all that whatever they could do to micromanage the elections. On the contrary, the secular vote or the politicians who were really banking on the secular vote nowhere saw a reason to come together. We were talking about united opposition. Now you asked a very pertinent question. What if every opposition was there? Today if people are talking about single digit BJP even now, but the things would have been absolutely bad.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, I mean, these are good points and takeaways. Before I go to Rupesh Babu to counter or respond to you, I'll just go to my colleague Dr. Freddy. Freddy, you've mapped elections for so many years now. You've written about it. You've mapped elections so many years. Now, the issue is that whatever Dr. Kamath is saying, would you agree that this has happened, this deterioration has happened only in the last 2 to 3 terms, or in your long academic history, have you seen this pattern kind of developing over a period of time?
I agree with what Dr. Kamath has said. If you look at the broad picture, what has happened is there has been a gradual effacing of ideological politics in Goa. So if you begin with 1963 and then you move downwards, you find that the MG and the UG, there were a great divide between these two parties, and based on the ideology which they espouse, either merger or identity of Goa or language, Marathi or Konkani, these were black and white. One could not cross the fence. But today you see, as the Congress comes to power in 1980 and you have subsequent elections, you also find that the earlier elections were fought on identity. They were fought on language. They were fought on pro-Maharashtra or anti-Maharashtra. But as you go down the line and the Congress gains full majority, and then you have issues fading out of politics. In between there was a minor resurfacing of ideological issues in terms of statehood and Konkani as the official language. But then Congress became its own enemy. And then you see the emergence of pragmatic politics in Goa. So now what has happened is, apart from pragmatic politics, it has become completely power-based politics, and that is the reason why you see the infighting within the BJP itself. You find BJP, the official BJP, the cadre-based BJP versus the power-based BJP, which is wanting to come to power again.
We have a quick response to both of them. You've heard, I have nothing else to add, but both are very important points. Can you respond?
Well, I think the situation, if you see last many years, I think the voters in Goa have a personal individual loyalty rather than a party loyalty. Yeah, so this situation has arisen in last many years. So we have individuals who have their own personal loyalty. So every party, a national party or regional party, they have to consider this scenario. Whether it is MGP, if you see MGP candidates in the last few elections, they have not come from the cadre or something. He has selected them who has been able to gather maximum loyalty amongst the voter in a particular constituency. So I think this factor is there. So all this infighting or even the situation which has come up is because of this part. But there is a section of voters who are more loyal to an individual than to any organization or a party.
But do you agree that the BJP is facing this kind of a challenge for the first time to this extent?
No, it is, this scenario will affect every personality. I think every party. Congress will have its own, the same problem. So I think individual loyalty does count in this.
One quick question related to this. See, for the first time one is seeing that in the event of BJP being in a position to form the government, for the first time, you have people within the BJP openly meaning openly, quote unquote, positioning themselves as being front runners for the top job. This has very hardly happened in the BJP. It's a strong card base. It is no secret, and it is so open that one can take names openly in a debate like this. My point is, there is nobody who will deny that Vishwajit Rane is not ambitious.
Correct.
And the fact that he wants to be chief minister. We also know, if we just put two and two together, we will realize the significance of Sunil Dalika's statement when he says that we will not support Pramod Sawant for chief minister. All these statements have meaning. Anybody who understands politics understands this. Can we deny the fact that Babu Kavlekar in his statement to Herod, because we were speaking to candidates across constituencies, and we'll be talking to almost 130 to 140 candidates we'll be talking to, okay, in the next, before counting starts. Babu Kavlekar openly said that after Pramod Sawant, he said that for a courtesy, after Pramod Sawant, I'm the most suitable to become the chief minister. Okay, so you cannot. I mean, everybody from Pramod Sawant himself to a Rohan Kaunte, nobody thinks that he is out of the electoral race. So the issue is, my question to you is that does that necessarily mean, can we conclude that the BJP from a party with a difference has become a party with differences?
See, the basic part, if you see the last 2 decades, I think BJP had a tallest leader in the form of Mr. Manohar Parrikar. So whether in opposition or whether in power, I think he was the tallest leader. So the situation did not arise. After his demise, naturally the second line leadership. So all these people who are ambitious to become CM or take the top job, I think it is understandable that this will happen. So,
Kilmar, coming to you. Essentially talking about TMC's presence. When TMC came to Goa, TMC felt that it has come because the Congress has failed. Okay, TMC's thing was that why are you talking of split votes? We have come here to get the entire opposition vote. Because that is our position. So that is a line they took. It was a good line to take because telling the people that Congress is not an alternative, we are the alternative. I mean, I'm sure attempts were made to ensure that happens. But in these 3 to 4 months, why? Just explain to us, or politically, or analyze. Why is it? Are you in a situation where you are admittedly a fringe player at this point of time, saying that you will support the Congress, and to form the government. So in some ways, the whole aim to be the sole opposition has not worked out. So we understand that. But as the president of the party, if you can just explain as to what you feel went wrong or did not go right, or what you could have done.
TMC लास्ट मिनिटाक म्हणजे 4 महिने असताना एक पार्टी ऑलरेडी हांगासर कितें जाल्लें, काँग्रेस लिडर काबार जाल्ले. लिडर काबार इन सेन्स तांच्यांनी जंप मारली, सम वे रिजाइन लास्ट मिनिट. पूण एज अ वोटर हे काँग्रेसीचे तशे उरले थोडे कडेन, खूब कडेन उरले, खूब कडेन तांकां आमी गेन करपाक शकले. आमकां कन्विन्सिंग जे आमी तांकां करपाक जाय आसले की काँग्रेस इज नॉट सिरियस बिकॉज 2017 तांच्यांनी कितें केल्लें, आफ्टर विनिंग द 17 सीट दे कुडंट मेक अ गव्हर्मेंट. ते सगळे दाखोवन दिवन आमी एक स्ट्रॉंग ऑपोजिशन म्हणून आमी येवपाचो आमचो जो प्रयत्न आसलो, खंय तरी मातसो कमी पडले आमी फावटी. सो इन फ्युचर आमी हे बरें करून घेवन वयतले. जे पंचायत इलेक्शन आसतना तितूनसून आमी काम चालू करता. पंचायत इलेक्शन एंड द अदर इलेक्शन.
टाइम वाज द ओनली फॅक्टर, or it could be more factors?
टाइम या इट इज ऑलमोस्ट टाइम. कित्याक पयलीच सुवातेर ज्यो बीजेपी आसत किंवा बाकीच्यो पार्टी आसत हांच्यांनी एक इतलो प्रेशरायज निर्माण केलो की टीएमसी इज अ एंटी हिंदू, ममता बॅनर्जी इज अ मुस्लीम, आनी हे ते आमी तेच एक्सप्लेन करपाक उरले. आमी आमचो एम कितें आहा, आमी कित्याक गेले हे सांगपाक आमी खूब कमी पडले. कित्याक आमकां हेंकां कावंटर करचें पडलें आनी कावंटर करता करता तितून दीस फुडें गेले आनी असो टायम कमी पडलेल्या कारणान आमी त्यो कांय गोश्टी करपाक शकूंक ना. पूण टीएमसी इज सिरियसली गोंयांत राजकारण करपाक येयल्ली आहा. नॉट लायक अ आम आदमी पार्टी. पयलीं सगळे राजकारण करता, 7-8 वर्सां जालीं, आनी एट द टायम ऑफ इलेक्शन टायम नथींग. म्हणजे दे आर नॉट सिरियस अगेन्स्ट बीजेपी कॅन्डिडेट मजान म्हणून येता.
But the irony is that Aam Aadmi Party will be heading 2 states very soon. Whereas TMC is that state. That is possible if Punjab works out, then
maybe, yeah.
correct.
That may be.
Okay. Dr. Kamal, just taking a leaf from Kiran Bob's book, if you can, as an independent observer, respond to exactly what I told.
Yes, look at this. TMC came here for taking the space away from the Congress. And this Goa political space was already crowded by them. It's a small place. We cannot have multiple players, 5-6 players here. 2 or 3 big parties and 1 regional party, or 1 or 2, that's it. But then when you have more 4 to 5 regional parties, national parties coming and playing in the small play field, then you need to pull people from each other. TMC came, I must say, without any kind of a study of Goan politics. First, it relied too much on a person, a defunct leader who was unable to deliver. Obviously, I'm referring to, and they, of course, they got a good person here. But by joining, he has lost his opportunity to win his own seat. That's the second thing. Okay, so what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is TMC came here without any proper study.
You say that if he was a Goa forward candidate, Naldona would have won?
Certainly, even if Congress would have offered him a seat and he would have won. But I find very remote chances that my friend is winning today.
I'll get him to respond.
That is why certainly I gave him a little more chance. I predict that she is going to win in her constituency. But then we otherwise would have had 2 good candidates against the BJP there. So TMC entered without any kind of preparation. For initial 2 to 3 months, we had only seen hoardings, we had only seen campaigns, but there was no real issue which was talked about. Time and again I have been saying, not even the spokesperson wasn't a person who could understand Goa or who could understand Goa. Why was the need for a national leader to be the spokesperson and talk and to talk about daily politics over here? Finally, rather than developing a cadre, rather than developing a strong base of workers, the people were talking about money. Where even ex-fund would have to ask him 2 crore rupees to support TMC and all that. So the whole agenda, the narrative was on resources, was on money, was on winning elections, was on IPAC, and there was nothing which was juice which was seen. There was all guess. So with all this, I don't think that you can underestimate a strong national party which is here for almost 50-60 years, the Congress, the grand party, and then we cannot discount it suddenly. We have seen that Congress within no time could galvanize itself. Because the rank and file was still there. And when people saw that they are losing hope in BJP, they had the only option. But this was a time where TMC should have realized that it is not for the Congress, not for the love for Congress that people are coming together, but people don't want to see the BJP government, that's why they are coming together. So there had to be some kind of an efforts to put the secular vote together. If we had to do that, probably they would have got more seats. Today my prediction for TMC is TMC would not cross beyond 2 to 3. And then AAP would get more amount of seat, the percentage of votes or the vote share compared to TMC. Now what has it done? It has helped the BJP in an indirect manner. Of course, TMC was very, very serious with when it came to election, did a very good campaign, but they did not get good leaders to back on. Except for Kiran and Kiran's wife at particular place, there were no leaders whom you could rely on.
Okay, I'll get a quick response from Kiran Babu in 5 minutes. But firstly, taking off from where he left off, when the TMC came to Goa, okay, there was a very sharp attack on the TMC, and BJP kind of dismissed them, but attacked them very sharply. Obviously, it almost seemed as if the Bengal election was being replayed on the Goa turf. This whole issue of TMC being anti-Hindu and so on and so forth was put out and all that. So, at the end of the day, it was a new party coming in. So, why was the BJP so concerned about TMC's entrance at that point of time? Because your reactions were extremely sharp, and that happens when you are concerned about a party.
So, I don't think so. There was an attack on the government or on the party, and I think party reacted to it, that's all. There was no special. Your reactions are very special. It was a banana.
In fact, they took time to realize that TMC is not their enemy.
Right.
So that learning curve came quite a moments later.
That's a very significant statement that you are making. But tell me, just a quick thing on alliances. Now, are you open to an alliance with MGP?
I think post results, all scenario will be considered by the party to form the government. Formation of government is the utmost priority. All considerations will be taken.
What about one question I'll ask you, may not be parliamentally correct at this point of time, but was Michael Lobo, this is again not we saying it, but this is a This is something that everybody says it. And of course, your Honorable Union Home Minister and Senior Leader Amit Shah ji also said the same thing, where he said that that Michael Lobo is our own person. He belongs to our family, and he will ultimately come back to the BJP. So, taking these into account, was kind of Michael Lobo sent to the Congress to be a Trojan horse and do damage and then again come back?
I don't think so. Michael Lobo can be a Trojan horse. But I don't think so.
Okay. So there is no question of he coming back.
That's up to him. I don't know.
Okay. Kiran, just a quick, because both the Kawat Babs made important points. So about TMC, when TMC came, why it did not succeed. Maybe it is, it should have had more local leadership and all that. Do you agree to some of these points?
थोडेशें जालां म्हणजे सांगलें तशें कमिटी लेट फॉर्म जावप म्हणजे ऑलमोस्ट इलेक्शन डिक्लेअर जालें तेन्ना कमिटी फॉर्म जाला सो लोकलां कडेन चडशें पावप आनी स्टार्टींग कशें जालें आयपॅक वांगडा आसलेल्या कारणान आनी बाकीच्यो गोश्टी एडवर्टायजमेंट एन ऑल थोडे लिडर्स जांकां खंयच तिकेट मेळना ते येवन घुसले तिकेट मेळना म्हणून भायर सरले अशें खुबशे जे आहा म्हणजे टीएमसी म्हणजे एक वेगळे तरेचे चित्र उबें जालें असो थोडोसो फटको बसला पूण इन फ्युचर जालें ते जालें आतां पूण इन फ्युचर आमी सगळे व्यवस्थीत म्हणजे ग्रास रुटाकसून आमी चालू करतले आनी इट वील बी शुअरली रिप्लेसमेंट for some party.
Right. Okay, fine. We'll leave it at that. The last round, and it should be an interesting round, starting with Dr. Freddy. Dr. Freddy, just give me your basic predictions, not basically repeating what the exit polls are saying, but if you look at the broad taluka or district wise, where do you think the BJP will do well, where do you think the Congress will do well? What's your overall map of results?
Basically, before that, I just wanted to make a point.
Sure.
Now, in terms of the BJP's trajectory which it has taken, basically BJP has given up the hardcore politics that BJP is known for, and BJP has moved to hard politics. Now, in this, it has been able to make these alliances, keep the doors open, and basically BJP has become a Congress of the 80s. When the Congress,
very important point. Yes,
the Congress was its own enemy. Now, given this kind of thing, if you begin from the north, it's very dicey to call. But in some constituencies where the candidates have their sway, I think the BJP will rope home easily. Like for example, you see in Panjim.
Valpur and Puri are not even counting. It's there in the bank already.
Yeah.
But other places.
So maybe like for example, Penne in Mandre they are Penne Taluka in Mandre. I think BJP.
But again, Mandri, MGP is not doing too badly there also. So we look forward to that.
Basically, as was pointed out earlier, it will a lot.
So you are saying that out of the 17-18 seats that one is giving the BJP, you feel the bulk of it is going to come from Sattari, Bardes and Penne Taluka.
And Piswari also basically.
Okay. And in South Goa, one would say that they will work through independence. That's what is the larger.
But a lot of the politics this time will depend on splitting of votes.
Yes.
So it will be a neck and neck kind of a victory.
Rupesh,
I think BJP will get majority of its seats from North Goa. Right. To put it in that way. Whether it's Barde, Sattari, Bicholi Taluka, Penne, Piswari. I think we'll get more than 12 seats from North Goa itself. And 6-7 seats maybe in South Goa. With the help of some, in Salset, as we know, there will be some independents which are backed by BJP or supported by BJP. So, in that way, we have the majority seats from North Goa.
There's actually one small light-hearted aside. This is the first time BJP has contested probably all seats.
Yes, all
and,
seats.
And the BJP is openly admitting that we have been backing independence in those seats. But this is how politics has become. You have your own candidate, but you back somebody else. Dr. Kamath, your
this is going to be the most toughest elections of all. It's very, very difficult to predict because we have more of individuals. Not that also, a lot of vote splitting would also happen. Even I'm not saying to that extent, because at some places where people have seen or people have realized that this is going to split the votes, their votes have consolidated to a greater extent.
So put your neck on the line. BJP, how many Congress?
I will have one acid test. What happens to Sakri seat is my question.
Okay.
So if you tell me that Dr. Pramod Sawant gets defeated even by a single vote, BJP would be in single digit, because that would talk about the extent of anti-incumbency. If Pramod Sawant wins even by 100 vote margin, BJP would not get more than 12 to 14 seats.
You're sticking your neck out and saying this.
Yes.
Okay. We'll hold you to this on the counting day. But so what you're essentially saying is that happens and the Congress will be in a position to form a government easily. That's
Yes, with the help of course, other parties.
other parties. Kiran Babu, your assessment, honest assessment,
On what?
overall number of seats that everybody will get.
ना चडशे सांगलेत आहे इंडिपेंडन्सूय थोडे कडेन जिखता पेंजीम चान्सीस आहा रुपेश बाब चड सांगतलो म्हाज्या पणजे इंडिपेंडंट रुपेश
You said no, the whole thing is
ना पेंजीम चान्सीस आहा इंडिपेंडंट जिखपाचो सो लायक अलेक्स रेजिनाल्डो अशे खूब कडेन आहा चान्सीस इंडिपेंडंट जिखपाचे तरी आसतना आम्ही काम केलं आम्ही TMCने काम केलं आम्ही सांगलेत आहे out of 26 constituency or out of 40 constituency we have worked very hard on 10 constituency which may be जिंकूंक शकता नाल्यार सेकंड नंबर आहा फॉर एग्जांपल हांव थिवी आमी 100% जिखता या थिवी आमी 100% जिखता TMCचो अकाउंट आमी उगडटा आमी इन्शुरन्स पयलींच पार्टीक दिता आल्दोना Glenn Tiklo, BJP is a third number. Is on third number.
So it is a fight between Congress and the TMC.
Fight between Congress and TMC. So अशे खूब कडे एक चेंजेस जाल्ले आहा आनी हे फावटी लोकांनी वोटिंग करतना हांव जे निमणे 4 दिसांक एक वोटिंग लोकांचे पळयतालो म्हणजे लोकांचे मुद्दे असले पयलीं म्हाका खूब जाण सांगपी आसले TMC कित्याक आनी कितें आनी हे सगळे पूण लास्टाक इलेक्शन कॅन्डिडेट बेज इलेक्शन जाल्लें आहा इट मे बी फॉर BJP ऑल्सो इट मे बी फॉर TMC इट मे बी फॉर काँग्रेस also who is the candidate who can do the better हेचेर इलेक्शन जाल्ले आहा पार्टी हे नरेंद्र मोदीची म्हारगाय आनी सगळे इश्यू असले तुम्ही म्हटले न्हू गोंयचे इश्यूज घेवना हे सगळे इश्यू लोक विसरले आनी टोटल इलेक्शन वो काय वो ह्याच बेसिसाचेर जाल्ले आहा हे म्हाका जाणवल्ले आहा 2 कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सीनी इन थिवीम इट इज कविता कांदोळकर or किरण कांदोळकर against नीलकंठ हळर्णकर in Aldona it is Glenn Tiklo Carlos Almeida against Kiran Kandolkar most chances are there
but he's not he's being very honest, very practical, very practical.
ना कामाक कितें जाणाय ओवर कॉन्फिडन्स आहे ना पण म्हाका सेल्फ कॉन्फिडन्स आहा की आय विल विन दॅट इज माय सेल्फ कॉन्फिडन्स ओवर कॉन्फिडन्स हवा म्हणजे मातशें बरें आसना कित्याक आमी राजकारणान उतावळ चडव पयल्ले आहा पूण थिवी हांव सांगता 100% जिखता
Kiran Babu, before we end, just one sec. One prediction. How many seats are you giving BJP?
for BJP single digit that means not more than 9
Okay. How many are you giving Congress?
Congress maybe like 11 12
So that is only 20 seats.
yeah
So 20 seats
other you count now
others 20 seats. Okay. This is different from any.
don't understand
This is different from any exit poll.
don't underestimate
Before I end, there is one issue that I always wanted to discuss, and I'll address this to Rupesh Babu directly. I'd honestly missed out in the middle, slipped my mind, but I'll come to it now. I wanted to focus completely on the Panjim and the Utpal Parikar phenomenon. And I know it's a larger debate, but I cannot end this without asking you this in a short form. See, at the end of the day, he's not Utpal Parikar, he's Utpal Manohar Parikar.
yeah
Okay, he is a person who, from his heart, wanted to carry on his father's, he calls it legacy. We won't go into all those things, but what is important is, given the significance of Manohar Parikar in the BJP scheme of things, and he actually carrying out his promise of contesting as an independent if he was not given a ticket, do you feel that somewhere the party should introspect and see if that was a correct decision or not? Because again, just my last point, answer this taking into account who you gave the ticket to.
Correct.
Now, if I may just add to this, basically the founders or the so-called founders of the BJP in Goa, that includes Lakshmikant Parsekar, also includes Sripad Naik and his son. So if you add all this, basically it is a very unhappy cadre, and this is the change which has seen with the ideological BJP to the pragmatic BJP of today. So how would you comment?
So regarding candidature in Panji, I am not in the position to comment on that, because the decision has been taken from from the higher.
To speak as a political observer, speak as somebody who understands politics.
If you see the scenario, I have spoken about this before, just before that. I think if you see the type of voting which our Kiran Babu also said, that it is upon individuals' loyalty of voters, which played a major role, I think, and I think that study was done by the party, and while giving away the tickets or finding the candidates, I think one of that criteria was this scenario. So I think considering all these things, all the tickets were given. So
no, I'm saying you are justifying a political strategy.
Yeah.
Are you, as a hardcore BJP worker for many years, from deep within, are you happy? That's the difference. The difference between a political strategy working and you as a core worker being happy from inside. Address the Rupesh Kamath from inside.
No, I'm here to represent my party.
I understand.
And I would say, after working with Mr. Manor Bhai also for so long years, I'm telling you what he stood for also was that he was nothing different than party. I think Mr. Manor Bhai Parrikar was Bharatiya Janata Party and Bharatiya Janata Party was Manor Bhai. That was what I've seen in the last 15-20
Why
years.
have so many cadre people gone with Utpal this time?
No, yes, see, it is
Hardcore BJP people have gone with him.
if one is in Panjim, it's up to them to decide whom to support. But I think the party is much bigger than any other scenario. I think if you see the larger picture, whether it is state or the country, it's a party which is a larger figure. And I think even Utpal Parrikar also knows that, and he also would agree to that also.
Okay, we'll leave it at that because it's a larger discussion. One can have a full 1 hour debate only on this. So I'll leave it at that because we have run out of time completely. But I took the liberty of asking this because I couldn't have not finished the debate by asking this critical question. I thank all my panelists and my esteemed colleague Dr. Freddy Fernandez also to for joining us and giving a lot of his important insights. Kiran Babu, thank you. Dr. Kamath, thank you. Rupesh Babu, thank you. And I think less than 48 hours from now, a lot of these discussions will become academic, but I think that one of the core things that we should always take away from debates like this is that the principle of issue-based politics, keeping Goa in mind and always looking at the most common person in the state and doing politics for him or her is something that we must always remember, because recently we did a piece and we blew up a picture of a middle-aged lady lifting her old mother and taking her to the polling booth. I think, and we said in our editorial that is a picture that all politicians should have in their offices. Look at them and then decide how to vote. Talking of Ukraine, which is very much in the news, the Ukraine president, when he took over the presidency, he very clearly said that do not put my picture as president in the walls of your offices. He told the ministers, put the picture of your children, because every time you take a decision, look at your children and ask yourself whether this particular decision will make your child proud or whether you're doing it for his or her future. I think that on that note we need to end, because irrespective of whatever discussions we have, I think value-based politics and working for the common man is something that is not happening in Goa, and this is an erosion that we have to stop, because if we do not, then Goa will indeed wither away. On this note, I thank all of you and I hope our viewers enjoyed this particular debate. Thank you.